They say that if you do things right the first time, you don't have to go back and improve upon those. The same can be said for the Bentley Continental GT.
Bentley, the Continental GT. It was a huge success for Bentley. In fact, they sold gajillions of them, and for good reason. It really is a car that sums up the best of this famous marque. It is power, privilege, and of course luxury, but it also stands for performance. Go back 90 years, just think about what that's meant for Bentley.
After returning from World War II, W.O. Bentley decided to take his wartime engineering experience into the automotive industry. But it wasn't until W.O. witnessed his first Le Mans race that the future of the brand would be embedded into automotive history. His team won the event in 1924 and would go on to win 5 more times. But after 1930, they wouldn't return to racing for 70 years until 2001. In classic Bentley fashion, the team went on to win Le Mans, starting a new racing tradition within the brand. Today, Bentley have held true to the originality they brought to the racetrack in the 1920s with the GT3. So as you start to see, maybe it wasn't quite such a mad idea to use this car as the base platform for the new GT. And, as I'm about to find out, on a racetrack, this one is pretty fast too.
Launch itself up 0 to 60, 4.3 seconds. But when those twin turbos spool up, and to be honest, there isn't much down below 1500, 1600 revs, but once it does, kind of cling on and hope that the Autobahn stretches for miles in front of you. So obviously it's got the meat and veg to satisfy the power lust of anybody, but how does that power get put to the ground? Through an all-wheel drive system that in some ways I'm kind of regretting right now, because I would love for the car to be just rear-wheel drive when I'm on a racetrack. But in real-world application, of course, a 60-40 split, well over 500 horsepower with all this weight, all this dynamic energy moving its way, trying to defy physics, well then, you're probably glad of an all-wheel drive system. And quite obviously, the wads, gobs of modern electronics that help you feel like a driving god. So downshift, get on the power. It's subtle, refined, yet bellowing from those 4 exhaust pipes. And you do have paddle shifters, although even in sport mode it is doing some of that for me. I use it generally on the downshift. But the shifters are unusual, I will grant you that. They're up here, they're like reindeer antlers. Whoa, that was nice, a bit of weight transfer there. And back on it out the corner. So of course that S part on the badging has to be more than just sporty. It actually does mean that this car comes 0.4 of an inch lower in ride height. It has stiffer spring rate by 45% on the front, 35% on the rear, which of course just increases the overall roll stiffness of the whole car. So a lot of power, a lot of moving weight. You need big brakes, and certainly the V8S has them. They are in fact, a little tidbit for you, the largest production brake package on any production vehicle. 16.5 front, 14 rear, carbon ceramic, and on the racetrack, I am mighty glad that I have them right now. Oh, and by the way, a mere $13,000 for that option. Although if you can afford this car, I would definitely recommend putting them on.
So while not many of us, in fact probably none of us, will get behind the wheel of the Bentley GT3 race car, we can get ourselves into a Continental GT and pretend that we're the modern version of the Bentley boys.
Guess what? They're at it again, but not with a full-blown...
Talking about the car, you
this. It's about the outside, about the hood, the engine, the big wheel.
With obviously oodles of power, but a lot of weight. Do you just slap away? I'm rambling now, so I have no clue what I'm saying, but that was basic. Let me just get out and go. Now, they obviously chose this car for a reason.
Let's check it out. Yeah.
No, she's right, she's listening.
Who?
Mother hen.